In 1965, the Houston Oilers moved to a new home, 70,000-seat Rice Stadium. The Oilers got their season off to an auspicious start there against the New York Jets. The pass-catching combination of Don Troll to Willie Frazier is the key to the Oilers' success. Troll comes off the bench to pinpoint his all-star tight end on 3 separate occasions. Willie carries all 3 of his catches for touchdowns. The New York Jets paid a king's ransom to get rookie quarterbacks Joe Namath and John Ewart, but Coach Weave Eubank benched them in favor of second-year man Mike Tolliver for the opener against Houston. The Jets present a formidable attack with Tolliver under center. Blocking's perfect as Bill Mathis streaks toward the goal line and makes it for a 45-yard touchdown. But the Oilers cash in on New York mistakes to win.
Next week, Shea Stadium. Joe Namath makes his debut. He passes to Don Maynard on a slant in as 54,000 Jet fans roar approval. In his first appearance as a pro, Namath sets quickly and shows that fast release. This time firing 14 yards to Gene Heater. Everyone's watching this new Jet star, destined to become the Rookie of the Year. Again he hits Maynard for a Jets first down. Go, go Jets! Joe Namath throws his first touchdown pass for the home folks, and it's a beauty. Straight to Maynard in the end zone. And the Namath magic begins its spell before a record-opening crowd in Shea Stadium.
Came home for the 3rd game of the season to meet the New York Jets. It was a sad day for Buffalo fans everywhere as DeBenyon, the fastest man in pro football, was injured. At this point, Buffalo's passing attack had gelled into a mighty weapon. Glenn Bass at split end teamed with DeBenyon as the Bills' 2 primary receivers. Kemp's accurate arm aims toward DeBenyon. Doobie went on to catch 6 out of 7 in this game. This first quarter drive is climaxed by Kemp. He crosses up the Jet defenders and follows Captain Billy Shaw in for the touchdown. By the end of the afternoon, Kemp was the AFL's leading passer. A 3rd quarter march by the Bills shows the explosive effectiveness of their aerial barrage. It starts with a 15-yarder to DeBenyon. Kemp combines with Glenn Bass for 17 more. Jack stung the Jets for 22 completions in 39 attempts. Kemp stays in the air. He pinpoints DeBenyon for 13 yards as the ill-fated drive approaches a sudden and tragic climax. This 11-yard touchdown toss to DeBenyon is the end of the season for Doobie. The Bills' great flanker is seriously injured. Let's take a closer look at the play with our stop-action camera. Kemp throws to DeBenyon, who's covered by Willie West. Doobie makes the catch, but his left leg is pinned under West's tackle, tearing a ligament in the knee. Albert DeBenyon is lost to the Bills for the remainder of the year. It's rookie Joe Namath's first start in the AFL, and he falls victim to the fierce pass rush of defensive end Tommy Day. Coach Joe Collier comments on the Bills' safety blitz.
We only do it in what we feel is a real good percentage situation. Probably the most we've safety blitz in a ball game this year is maybe 3 times in one particular game.
Namath must have profited from his hard-earned experience. He went on to become Rookie of the Year for 65. For Buffalo, it was 3 straight with a 33-21 victory over New York.
The Denver Broncos were the most improved team in the American Football League in 1965. Gone was the lackluster attack of the previous year, accomplished mainly with trades and a raft of rookies who showed that they belonged in the big time. Max Beaty's squad got stung in its first two outings, but then came a reversal of form. Odell Barry returns a kickoff 64 yards against the New York Jets to help his team post its second victory of the season. The Raiders' staunch defenders enjoyed many moments of glory, too. New York's Joe Namath passes. George Sauer and Oakland's Dave Grayson battle for the ball. Grayson wins the battle and heads the other way. Grayson behind crisp blocking blasts to a 79-yard touchdown as the Raiders tie New York. The pass blocking of Oakland's all-league center Jim Otto is noted on this play. Double O's protection enables Tom Flores to make a connection with Billy Cannon for big yardage. Namath makes Don Maynard his chief target on most pass patterns. Joe uncorks a long pass that Maynard takes over the shoulder for a 56-yard touchdown. The Jets tie the Raiders.
After a tie with Boston, the Chargers shot down the New York Jets before 60,000 in Shea Stadium with plays like this. Paul Lowe adds 59 yards to his league's leading total. Lance Allworth latches onto this pass from Don Breaux and streaks away for a 57-yard score. And the Chargers remain unbeaten with a 34-9 victory.
Defense helps carry the day as the Jets break their victory famine with a smashing defeat of Denver. Erlen Biggs intercepts one of Mickey Slaughter's passes to set up a touchdown. Len Dawson come off the injured list, and all-league receiver Chris Burford goes on. Burford, shown completing a 57-yard scoring strike against the Jets, is lost for the season not long afterward. Against Kansas City, Namath zips a toss to D. Mackey, and from there on it's strictly ad-lib. Mackey laterals to Don Maynard, and the New York flankerback makes it to the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. At Boston's Fenway Park, the New York Jets collide with the Patriots. Meeting for the first time this season, the Jets are on a two-game winning streak, while the Patriots trail the Eastern Division with only one victory. Early in the first period, the red-shirted Patriots try to put something together. J.D. Garrett takes the handoff and loses the ball. Wahoo McDaniel latches onto it and is brought down 1 yard short of the goal line. The Jets capitalize in a hurry as Matt Snell dives in for the score. The New York Jets plow to the front 7-0. Boston tries again. Quarterback Babe Pirelli drops back to pass, but gets very little protection. Jerry Philbin spins Pirelli around, and he fumbles. There's a scramble for the ball, and New York's Verlin Biggs finally wins out. The Boston defense rises to the occasion, forcing Jim Turner to boot a 16-yard field goal. New York ups the count to 10-0. Boston's problems continue following the kickoff. Ron Burton fumbles the pigskin away for the third straight time. Joe Namath at the Jet controls has all the time in the world to launch a 22-yard touchdown bomb to Don Maynard. New York takes a 17-0 lead as the first quarter ends. In the second quarter, a stunned Boston team tries to get rolling. Pirelli passes over the head of Gino Cappelletti, but interference is called and the Patriots move into Jet territory. Drive stalls at the 23, forcing Boston to settle for a field goal. Patriots now trail by 17-3. Jets come right back. Joe Namath throws a strike to Don Maynard, and the New York flanker takes off. Maynard picks up 44 yards as the Jets threaten. From the Boston 37, Namath is chased but rolls right and fires downfield. Don Maynard grabs hold and races in for his second touchdown of the game. The Jets pile it on at 24-3. Babe Pirelli won't let the Patriots give up. Babe uncorks a 12-yard completion to Jim Whalen. Pirelli stays with the aerial game. He explodes a bullet to Jim Colclough for 11 more. From the New York 34, Pirelli looks to throw again. He spies Colclough in the open and hits the sure-handed split end for a 27-yard connection. 7 yards from pay dirt, the Boston aerial artist caps a 63-yard march by threading the needle to Gino Cappelletti. The Patriots go on to score another touchdown before the quarter ends, and at halftime trail the New York Jets 24-17. In the third quarter, Joe Namath and the Jets are looking for more. The former Alabama All-America teams with D. Mackey for a 13-yard advance. Boston finally halts the drive, and Jim Turner gets the call. Turner's 19-yard field goal gives New York a 27-17 advantage. Following the field goal, Jim Turner kicks off for the Jets. Boston's Jay Cunningham grabs hold at the 8 and makes tracks up the middle. Cunningham finds daylight and speeds on his way to a 45-yard return before a host of white shirts bring him down. Trailing by 10 points, the Patriots have a chance to catch up. Pirelli's sideline pass to Jim Whalen is good for a first down. A few plays later, Pirelli makes another connection with Whalen for 15 more. Gino Cappelletti kicks a 30-yard field goal, and Boston narrows the Jet margin to 27-20. In the final period, the New Yorkers are probing for more points. Joe Namath obliges with a toss to George Sauer. The Jet rookie breaks away for a 33-yard play. Boston forces another Jim Turner field goal. The 14-yarders on the mark for the final score of the game, giving the Jets a 30-20 victory. New York runs its winning streak to 3 with an eye to a loftier spot in the Eastern Division standing. Shea Stadium in New York City is the battleground for the AFL's Eastern Division fight for second place. The Houston Oilers, present holders of the runner-up spot, battle the New York Jets, the league's hottest team, with 3 straight victories. With the first quarter only seconds old, the green-shirted Jets come alive. Bill Mathis works the draw play to perfection as he runs for daylight. The 220-pound halfback gallops for 79 yards before he's caught from behind. The Jets are on fire. Rookie quarterback Joe Namath completes the swift 85-yard march with a pass to Don Maynard in the end zone. The New Yorkers light up the scoreboard in a hurry to lead 7-0. Late in the period, the Jets blast off again. Namath's pass is snared by D. Mackey, who breaks away for 47 yards into Oiler territory. But the drive stalls, and Jim Turner adds 3 points with an 18-yard field goal. New York takes a 10-0 lead. Don Troll mans the Houston helm. Forced to flee the pocket, Troll's hurried throw is picked off by Willie West, who returns to the Oiler 38. Moving to the second period, Joe Namath tries to capitalize on the break as the former Alabama star pinpoints George Sauer. Sauer speeds toward the corner and slips in for another New York touchdown. The Jets pull away, 17-0. Red-hot Jet can't seem to get enough. D. Mackey takes Namath's pass 19 yards into the Oilers secondary. Our ground level camera watches Bill Mathis sweep the right side of the Houston defense for 9 more. The Jets can't maintain the torrid pace and settle for a 31-yard Jim Turner field goal. That makes it 20-0. The Texas Oilmen finally show signs of life as George Blanda and Charlie Frazier team up for 13 yards. Houston leads the AFL in pass offense. George Blanda shows how it's done on a 27-yard connection with Charlie Hennigan. The 16-year veteran keeps the drive alive with a 12-yard strike to Charlie Frazier. But the New York defense steps in, forcing a 23-yard field goal attempt. It's wide of the mark, and the Jets retain their 20-0 lead at halftime. Late in the third quarter, the Jets are airborne again. Joe Namath threads a 13-yard needle to Don Maynard. Let's watch Maynard on that play with our isolated camera. He runs a short sideline pattern, crossing up his Oiler defender. Namath goes the other way this time. George Sauer performs the receiving chore, good for 14 yards, and the Jets are threatening. From the 22, Namath gives to Bill Mathis, who gathers interference on a wide sweep to the right. Mathis is finally pulled down 7 yards short of the goal line as the quarter ends. The first play in the final period is a successful one for New York. George Sauer gets credit for the score, and the Jets up the count 27-0. The Oilers try desperately to get on the scoreboard, but are foiled again. Ralph Baker intercepts George Blanda's pass and returns the ball 10 yards to the Houston 35. The interception sets the stage for Joe Namath to put his high-priced wing to work. Namath explodes a bomb to Don Maynard for another New York touchdown, making the score 34-0. Houston never gives up as Don Troll tries his hand at the aerial game. Bob McLeod gathers in the ball and charts a course down the sideline. The New Yorkers set up a roadblock, holding McLeod to 47 yards. At the Jet 26, Troll sends a quick pitch to Ode Burrell for a 15-yard gainer, and the Oilers are close to their first score of the game. 3 yards short of the goal, Troll looks to pass. 23-year-old playmaker can't find anyone and scrambles in for the score. Houston finally breaks the ice and trails 34-7. The Oilers keep trying even though they trail by 27 points late in the game. Don Troll eludes the trap and follows his blockers down the left side, turning an apparent loss into a 14-yard gain. From the New York 13, Troll works the draw to Jack Spikes, who hammers in for another Oiler touchdown. The scoreboard now reads 34-14. Mike Tolliver takes over the Jet helm. Matt Snell carries left and runs into a host of white jerseys. Snell shows why he's New York's leading rusher as he reverses direction for an amazing 47-yard trip into Houston terrain. Just 28 seconds remain to be played as rookie Kern Carson tries his hand at the scoring game. Carson finds the path to pay dirt for the final touchdown of the game. The New York Jets win an easy 41-14 victory over the Houston Oilers to capture second place in the Eastern Division.
Number 81, Jimmy Coldclaw, veteran receiver of the Boston Patriots. He used to be a thorn in the Jets' side. Now he'll be giving the Jets added offensive punch. You see him again catching a touchdown pass against the Jets. But no more. Now he's with us. And look. Now, super slow motion, Matt Snell, the first Jet to win the coveted Rookie of the Year award. Here's one of the greatest running backs in the game today. Only 2 years with the Jets, but he's headed for the top in professional football. To every game he plays, he brings excitement. On this last play, in an excellent view in slow motion, you see Joe Namath with that classic style, that easy poise, the snap of the wrist, and the quick follow-through. Another strike.
Coach Joe Madro talks with Sandra Nyson of Lincoln. Backfield coach Tom Bass dons his shoes as the New York Jets come to town. The Jets are hot after 4 straight wins, and rookie Joe Namath will be gunning for a win over the Western Division leaders. But the league's top passer, John Hadel, has ideas of his own. Late in the first quarter, Hadel charges up his offense with a 20-yard beauty to Lance Allworth. Keith Ligon blasts through to the 1 and makes it goal to go. Coaches Madro and Bass scout from the press box as Lincoln crashes over on the first play of the second quarter. Hadel is sharp shooting again. John hits Lincoln on the 10. Keith bounces off Wahoo McDaniel and bolts into pay dirt. San Diego zooms ahead 14-0. Now Joe Namath tries to pass. Bob Petrich and George Gross get to him first. He fumbles. Earl Faison recovers. Chargers ball on the New York 15. Herb Trevino doesn't miss from there, and the Chargers are on top 17-0 at halftime. Second half, Joe Namath's troubles continue in the form of Charger Kenny Graham. Kenny jumps in front of Bake Turner to snag the pass and legs it back 51 yards to give San Diego a 24-0 count. A souvenir for a lucky fan. And a happy Graham returns to the bench. The Jets finally scored, but the Chargers are gunning for more. Hadel waits for Lance Allworth to get clear, and he hits the all-world flanker for a 46-yard touchdown. In the fourth period, it's almost a carbon copy. The explosive combination of Hadel to Allworth collaborate again. Hits a 36-yard bomb to run the score to 38-7. With a 31-point lead, the Chargers try some razzle-dazzle. It backfires. Ray Abruzzi picks up the loose pigskin and heads for the goal. Allworth spots him 7 yards, then takes off in hot pursuit. 50 yards later, Bambi catches up and the Chargers take a 38-7 victory into Houston.
Contending, play host to the New York Jets. Pre-game interest centers on this helicopter brought in to dry out a wet field and on Joe Namath, the Jets' sensational rookie quarterback, shown here warming up prior to the ballgame. The versatile Raider offense moves well against New York, as indicated by this 34-yard gain in slow motion by Alan Miller on a swing pass. Early in the second quarter, the offense pays off on this 1-yard TD plunge by Clement Daniels. Bob Swias and Wayne Hawkins provide the running room. Later in the quarter, the Raiders boost their lead to 14-0 on this Flores to Powell hookup in slow motion. Tom getting good protection from Jim Otto, Alan Miller, and Bob Swias, among others. Powell takes the pass in the end zone behind Ray Abruzzi on a great catch. The 14-point deficit doesn't bother Namath. He sparks his club to a pair of third-period scores. The first on this 62-yard completion to Bake Turner. Speedy flanker back and one of the top receivers in the American Football League. The second touchdown on this 40-yard beauty to Don Maynard. In the fourth period, the Raiders pull away with a field goal and a touchdown to win 24-14. Here's the touchdown, a 30-yard ramble by Clem Daniels.
In the season's finale with the Bills, Namath connects with Maynard for a touchdown. The Jets go on to defeat the Bills, who are in second place in the East with a 5-8-1 loss.